The unemployed have become invisible. There aren't unemployment offices anymore. There aren't career links to go to look for work. There's 1 million people in Pennsylvania without work right now, and even more who have some kind of work, but we're not really enough. And getting them out of the shadows and out of their dens and out of their home offices where they're Google searching jobs and probably not being very effective in finding one is probably the first step. We got to bring them out of the shadows, out in the streets, and say, here's 1 million people who want work to do. And here are how many millions of homes in Pennsylvania that we need to weatherize in order to be more an energy efficient state. The two naturally fit together. How many of them have the basic skills necessary to swing a hammer, operate a stable gun, the basic skills you need in order to weatherize a home. And it isn't like the work is just in one portion of the state, which is sometimes the danger with some of this alternative energy stuff, right? You can't put a windmill everywhere, can't put a solar panel everywhere, but guess what? You can weatherize homes everywhere. And you can put people to work in the coal fields and in the shadows of the shut down steel plants to work doing weatherization jobs. Now, you got to make sure there's a career path. You can't make sure it's dead-end work. But we have to generate the outrage, right? The outrage. And that's part of the problem with the budget. 101 days, Republicans in the state government basically sitting on it saying, well, we can't write any checks till we have a state budget, knowing full well that this money is sitting there and the federal government wants them to spend the money to weatherize the homes. The goal with the stimulus money is to weatherize 30,000 homes in Pennsylvania, which is maybe, what, 1% of the homes in the state that need to be weatherized. And to date, they have 1,200 completed, and they intend to complete 30,000 by September. So they really either plan to mobilize an enormous workforce or not being realistic about what it's going to take to actually get the money on the street. I mean, we shouldn't all wait for the state to be the solution, because they won't be. We'll wait forever for our state government to be the progressive government we need it to be. So at the local level, there are amazing things that local governments can do. I ran for local council, got elected to local council. The town had its own its own electricity generation license, and it was the electricity supplier for the residents. So when people paid their utility bills for electric, they paid the borough. And so here I was saying, look, we have these resources. Let's start a fund to weatherize the homes in this very old mountain town. Unfortunately, I had other places to go and couldn't stay there to see it through, but the ideas are on the table at least, and they understand that they don't need to wait for the state or federal government to do this. They can set up a revolving fund in town, and they can front people 10% of the cost or 20% of the cost to help get them started. And it's got to take that kind of creativity at the local level to see this through. And if we can get small local banks lending, if the president has planned to inject $30 billion of the TARP money into local banks, we should be demanding the local banks invest in renewable and conservation programs at the local level. Start these kind of small startups in the small towns. A guy with a pickup truck doing weatherization would go a long way to getting us started.